What we'll be starting in this lecture is, first we'll be revising again what we have done in previous lecture, and then we will be starting with a new essential element of valid contract. So let us revise what we have done exactly in previous lecture is, we started with exceptions to consideration, because there were some consideration exceptions which were pending. So we started with that. Now, what is exceptions to the rule of consideration is, first, what is the rule of consideration? If there is no consideration on both the sides, then there is no contract. That is, it is a void agreement. There cannot be a contract without consideration on both the sides. This is what rule says. What does exception means? Even if there is no consideration on both the sides, then also contract will not become a void agreement. It will become a valid contract. This is what is exception to the rule, no consideration, no contract. We understood all the rules in details, but let us just revise some of the headings. Agreement with natural love and affection with near relatives, promise to pay time bar debt, compensation for past voluntary services. Then it was completed gift, charity, billment, agency. This all are the contracts which are without consideration also valid. See, if in all these cases you can prove there is a consideration, then it is all right. Then also it will become a valid contract. Then we started a concept where third party can be a part to consideration, but third party cannot be a part to contract. As simple as this. If there is a third party, who is third party? Any party other than parties to the contract. Third party can be a part of consideration, but cannot issue in contract. What was the rule? There can be a stranger to consideration, but there cannot be a stranger to contract. This is what this means in technical language. This was the last point, because the exception of this rule we have not done yet. We will be doing at the end of the Indian Contract Act 1872. So we are starting with current lecture, which is capacity of parties. Now, before capacity of parties, let me revise one section that we have already done, which is section 10. What is section 10? It is essential elements of valid contract. What are essential elements of valid contract? Offer and acceptance, consideration, capacity of party, free consent, legality of object, and agreement should not be expressly declared as void. These are some of the all the elements of essential contract under section 10. So this will teach you how to make a valid contract. If all these elements are satisfied, it is end conditions. If all these elements are satisfied, then it is a valid contract. Otherwise, it may be void, it may be voidable. But up till now we have learned, if there is no valid offer and acceptance, can it become valid? No, because essential elements of valid contract is not satisfied. But then what it will become? It will become void agreement. That we have understood. A quick revision about valid, void and voidable. Can anyone, by raising the hand, give the answer? Void, valid, voidable. Because I am writing it n numbers of times, I just want a confirmation that you are knowing it. First or second lecture, void, valid, voidable. Yes, Vatsal.
So valid means both the party can go into court of law.
Exactly.
Void, any one party can go into court of law.
Alright.
And void means no party can go into court of law.
Exactly, it is correct. Alright, and now onwards we will be speaking. Both the parties can enforce into court of law is a valid contract. Both party cannot enforce into court of law is void agreement. and both one of the party can enforce it into court of law is voidable. So this is but if there is no offer and acceptance, or if there is no valid offer, or if there is no valid acceptance, then it cannot become a valid contract, because they are essential elements of valid contract. But what it will become, void or voidable? It will become void agreement. Without consideration, also we have understood it cannot become valid contract. Why? Again, consideration is one of the essential elements of valid contract. So what it will become? It will become void agreement. Where it is written no consideration, no contract, so it will not become and contract, and it will become agreement, which will be void agreement. We are going to next point, which is capacity of parties. You should be first absolutely clear why we are learning capacity of parties. Why we are learning? Because it is one of the essential element of valid contract. So let us start with the concept of capacity of See first what law says. There are normally two parties to contract, say X and Y. Let me take two students from the classroom. That would be more better. Devanshi and Dishita. There are two parties to contract normally. For an agreement being valid, both parties should be capable of entering into contract. Let me write down the rule. Both parties should be capable of entering into contract. So, if Devanshi is capable, Dishita is capable, let me write down over here. If Devanshi, Dishita both are capable, it will become valid contract. If Devanshi is capable, Dishita is not capable, this will become void agreement. If Devanshi is not capable and Dishita is capable, again it will become void agreement. So this should be absolutely clear. To make a valid contract, both parties should be capable of entering into contract. Now the question is, sir, how we will come to know whether one particular party is capable or not? Let me tell you one point. Only major, who are major? A person who has attained 18 years, who has completed 18 years will be termed as major in India. Below 18 years, the person is treated as minor in India. So only major persons are capable of entering into contract. Minor cannot enter into contract. But we will be learning technically who are capable of entering into contracts. A person should be a bodybuilder for that capacity. The answer is no. We are going to learn capacity of parties, persons who are capable of entering into contract. But before that, this should be absolutely clear. Both parties should be capable of entering into contract. One party entering, another party not entering will not do. Both parties should be capable of entering into contract. Yes, let us learn that point. Who is capable? This is defined negatively. I will explain you what does it mean when I say it is defined negatively. Who are capable of entering into contract? All are capable of entering into contract. Any person, Indian, non-Indian, male, female, children, all are capable of entering into contract. This statement means this. Who are capable of entering into contract? All persons are capable of entering into contract, except 1, 2, 3. So this 3 persons, 1, 2, 3 persons, will not be capable of entering into contract. So what is defined? Persons who are capable or persons who are not capable? Persons who are not capable is defined. So this type of definition is termed as, it is defined negatively. This definition is defined negatively. Now who are not capable of entering into, now all of you are getting this, right? Except these 3 persons, all persons are capable of entering into contract. These 3 persons are not capable of entering into contract. Not capable are not capable of entering into contract. So which are those 3 parties? Minor. So minor is capable, not capable, not capable. Person of unsound mind. Capable, not capable, not capable. Other disqualified person. These 3 persons are not capable of entering into contract. Let's go to our original example. Say Dishita's age is suppose 17 years. Then, and Devanshi's age is say 18 plus. Suppose this is just an example. Then this party is capable, this party is not capable, this will not become a valid contract. And believe me, if one is capable, one is not capable, it will not become voidable. I'll teach you when voidable will come. This agreement still remains void agreement. And yesterday we have learned this also. Difference between void agreement, void contract. Again, let us revise it. We have not revised it. Let us revise it. Void contract, void agreement. Any student raising the hand should give the answer, except the one who gave before. Difference between void agreement and void contract. Krutika Ba.
Void agreement is void right from the initial stage, while the
Alright.
contract is not void from initial, but due to some change in law, it becomes void.
Then it is void?
Contract.
Exactly. Good. So anything which is void from initial stage is void agreement. Anything which afterward becomes void, it was first valid and then it becomes void, is void contract. And this will become, see, I have written specifically, this will become void agreement and not void contract. From initially only it will be treated as void because one of the party was not capable of entering into contract. So let us go one by one in all 3 persons. Let us go first over here. Person of unsound mind. We will be learning in detail. So today we are going to learn only these 3 persons. Are capable or not capable? Not capable of entering into contract. Let us go first with person of unsound mind. Person of unsound mind. Now, we are already knowing mad person, right? Who is mad person? Person of unsound mind. Now, how you will decide whether one person is unsound or not? Believe me, you need to get doctor's certificate that whether a person is sound or unsound. Say, extreme anger is also a person of unsound mind. A person with extreme anger at one particular time extreme depressed at one particular time can also be proved as a person of unsound mind. But we'll not go into detail. You need a doctor's certificate that this person is of unsound mind. Alright, so a person of unsound mind cannot enter into contract. Please try to concentrate a situation. There was an old movie Gajni in which Amir Khan was having a particular disorder. Let me just somewhat modify it and explain you this particular example. Amir Khan as per doctor's certificate is in sound state of mind from morning 10 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. Say this is what doctor has given the certificate. So let us not discuss that, sir, this is not possible. So Amir Khan is in this state of mind from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And same Amir Khan is in unsound state of mind from 6 p.m. in evening to 10 a.m. This is what doctor has already given certificate. So we will not discuss again whether it is practical or not. These are two examples. And my question is, can Amir Khan enter into contract at 11 p.m.? A simple question, can he enter into contract at 11 a.m.? You can give answer in chat, yes or no. Can he enter into contract at 11 a.m.? Alright, more of yes and less of no. So let me write down yes over here. Yes, he can enter into contract and contract will become a valid contract, because you are saying that they are persons who are capable of entering into contract and this contract will become a valid contract. I hope here it will be a clear answer. Can enter into contract at 7 p.m. in chats? Yes, now I am not getting any yes. So this is no. Let us understand first this. A person cannot enter into contract when he is in a state of unsound mind. A person with unsound mind is not capable of entering into contract. At 7 p.m. he is of unsound mind, so he cannot enter into contract. 11 a.m. he is of sound mind, but understand on the same day he is going to become unsound mind. So the question arises whether at that time he can enter into contract or not when he is of sound mind. The answer is yes. Try to concentrate this statement. We have not got into very detail of this wordings, but try to concentrate. Both parties should be capable of entering into contract. So when the test is to be done, whether the person is capable or not, at the time of entering into contract. So let us again go to this. At the time of entering into contract, whether this person was of sound mind or unsound mind, he was in sound state of mind, it will become a valid contract. see, you need to write down in a descriptive manner. So this is a statement which you need to understand. A person who is sound but a person who is normally sound cannot enter into contract when he is unsound. But a person who is unsound can enter into contract when he is sound. I'll give you a short understanding of this. At the time of entering into contract, the person should be in the sound state of mind. Then the contract will become a valid contract. If at the time of entering, a person is in unsound state of mind, that person is not capable of entering into contract, and hence this contract will not become a valid contract. And it will become what? Void agreement. That also we have understood. If one of the parties is not capable of entering into contract, then the agreement will become void agreement. Now, this looks like a filmy example. You will say me, sir, this is very filmy example. How it will be applicable in practical life? And this is just theoretical. This cannot be applied in practical life. But believe me, it can be. I'll tell you. Let me save my 4 crore rupees by knowing this particular law. Concentrate. I am a diamond trader. There is one student, Hetvi. Hetvi, I have taken example. Let me take another name. Pooja. And we have entered into contract today. Today is 1st June 2021. This contract is entered. I will give Pooja ruby diamond. And she will be giving me 2 crore rupees. This contract is entered at 11 a.m. And ruby diamond will be given after 5 days. And 2 crore will be also given after 5 days. But the contract is entered today. So we have decided I will be giving ruby diamond after 5 days and Pooja will be giving me 2 crore rupees after 5 days. Concentrate what happened after 3rd day. Market price of ruby diamond became 6 crore rupees. Is this contract a compulsory contract? Yes. Understand, it is entered into under Indian Contract Act 1872. Any contract in India are covered by Indian Contract Act 1872. Both parties are capable of entering into contract. Both parties are having consideration, and so this becomes a valid contract. On 3rd day, the market price became 6 crore rupees. Can any student, by raising the hand, answer me who will be not happy with the situation? On 3rd day, who will be very much depressed or unhappy? Yes, Mishri? I or Pooja?
Pooja.
Pooja will be depressed? Can you explain me why? Then I'll explain you what is the mistake. Pooja will have to pay 6 crore rupees, Mishri?
Yes.
No. Pooja will be paying only how much crore rupees? 2 crore rupees. What was the desire of promisor, Mr. I? Only 2 crore rupees. So once the contract is entered, you cannot change the rate. This contract is fixed. Now you cannot say the market price has become 6 crore rupees, so you will have to pay me 6 crore rupees. So Pooja will be paying 2 crore rupees. Now can you tell me, Nishu, who is unhappy?
You,
Why?
because market price is increased, but you cannot getting 6 crores.
Exactly. See what will happen. Suppose this is a diamond. The diamond is in my hand. The worth of this diamond is right now 6 crore rupees. And I have already sold this diamond at the rate of 2 crore rupees. Are you getting it? So this I will have to sell it at 2 crore rupees. So I am very unhappy. And I seriously want to cancel this contract. But I know Pooja will never agree. Because Pooja is now having a benefit of 4 crore rupees practically. So Pooja will not agree. So I am hiring some good lawyer who will be doing something which is not ethically correct. But I tell to my lawyer that I will give you 1 crore rupees, but you cancel this contract. I don't want this contract to be proved in court of law. Right now I am not delivering diamond. You do whatever you want to do, but cancel the contract. So first he contacted Pooja. Pooja will never cancel it. She is getting a benefit of 4 crore rupees. How? She will be paying 2 crore rupees for a diamond which is now of 6 crore rupees. So she will never cancel the contract. The matter went into court of law. I didn't perform the contract. I didn't give the diamond. Pooja went into court of law and my lawyer was very much ready. Concentrate. What my lawyer presented in court of law? My lawyer presented that I had a fight with wife at 10:30 a.m. A big fight. And they called some neighbors also in court of law, and neighbor told that yes, there was a big fight, there was a huge shouting going on between Jai sir and wife. So this happened at 10:30 a.m. My lawyer has proved it in court of law by bringing some witness in court of law. And there is a doctor's certificate that 10:45 doctor came to home and doctor proved that right now you are very angry and you are not in sound state. So at 11 a.m. when the contract was entered, Jai sir was not in the sound state. Doctor gave the certificate that I personally visited Jai sir's home. This all is fake. Huh? Doctor also might be given some money and neighbors also might be given some money. And this is everything incorrect. But you'll have to prove in court of law if you want to avoid this contract. And this is not ethical. This is what is I'm teaching you something wrong. And why I'm teaching you that also I'll tell you. 11 a.m. the contract was entered. Jai sir was unsound mind, and whenever one party is of unsound mind, this become void agreement. Pooja's lawyer was not very good. I won the case and I saved my 4 crore rupees. Even if unethically, I saved my 4 crore rupees. So when you know one point, believe me, if you are a lawyer, how much fees was offered? 1 crore rupees fees was offered. In your lifetime, you will have to fight only one case with only one point, which is person of unsound mind. And this happens practically. N numbers of times this happens. So this is a practicality of this particular situation. Sir, why you are teaching something which is unethical? Because you might be sometimes lawyer of Pooja also. You might be Pooja herself. So if Pooja is not knowing the law, she will not believe the court. She will say, what has happened there? I have entered into absolutely valid contract and the contract was declared void by court of law. If Pooja was having the knowledge, she could fight this case in a better manner. How I tell you, suppose I am lawyer of Pooja. Okay, this argument was given in court of law. Alright. See, as a lawyer of Pooja, what I will say? Sir, neighbors are speaking something and they are not reliable because they are neighbors of Mr. I. Number two, a doctor coming at 10:45 might not be viable. And the doctor is a family doctor and hence his certificate also cannot be termed as reliable. So, the 2 crore rupees ruby diamond, today's market price is 6 crore rupees. And so there is a sufficient evidence that Mr. I wants to cancel the contract. Because this is first time this has happened. In his career of diamond dealer, this is first time it has happened. And so he is just trying to save his 4 crore rupees. That is a huge loss for Pooja because she has entered into valid contract. So kindly prove this contract as a valid contract. As a Pooja's lawyer, I can win the case. If I know the situation, that this is going to be situation in the court of law. If I was not knowing this law, I would be losing the case. I will not be able to make any argument and I will be just stunned that what has happened in court of law. So knowledge of law is important to understand that even counterparty can take an undue advantage of law. So to save from this type of things, you should be aware what happens in practical life. I am not saying you do this, but this should not happen to you also. This is a person of unsound mind, and we are summarizing person of unsound mind. That is, a person who is normally sound cannot enter into contract when he is in unsound state of mind. A person who is normally unsound can enter into contract when he is in sound state of mind. This is person of unsound mind. What we were learning? Persons who are not capable of entering into contract. We are going to second one. Other disqualified persons. This is third point for us. We have not yet done minor. Minor will be doing it. Who are other disqualified persons? First, foreign alien enemy. Let me take an example and clarify the situation. Foreign alien is a person who is not Indian. Say citizen. So any person other than Indian citizen are foreign alien. I have given you a meaning of only this. It is written in a weird manner. Even if foreign is written, it is absolutely all right. Alien was not necessary. Alien is someone who is not from world. But alien, they have written it. So foreign alien is understood. Say, example, a Pakistani citizen is a foreign alien. Sir, so we cannot enter into contract with Pakistani citizen? The answer is no. You can enter into contract with Pakistani citizen. There are n numbers of import and exports going on between India and Pakistani citizens. So it is a valid contract to enter into contract with Pakistani citizen. Why try to concentrate? They are foreign alien, yes, but they are not our enemy. Who are enemy? Enemy are citizens of country with whom India is in state of war. India is in state of war. What is the state of war? Try to concentrate. President of India will declare that right now we are in state of war with Pakistan. Say at the time of Kargil. At the time of Kargil, Pakistan was in state, or India was in state of war with Pakistan. So at the time of Kargil, you cannot enter into contract with a Pakistani citizen. State of war is declared. Right now, as on today, as on 1st June 2021, India is in state of war with which country? None of the country, neither Pakistan nor China. So right now you can enter into contract with Pakistani citizen. But if tomorrow war is declared by President of India, war is declared that now from today we are in a war, then from tomorrow you cannot enter into contract with Pakistani citizen. This is nothing but the definition of foreign alien enemy. Number 2 are ambassadors or foreign ambassadors. You know, if you want to go to USA, you will have to go to USA Embassy, which is in India. There will be an office of US government in India. They will give you visa. Persons working over there are thus foreign ambassadors, or foreign embassy members. But they are capable of entering into contract. Majority of contract, yes. For some contracts, they are not capable. So they are not generally excluded. They are specifically excluded. That you cannot do this 1, 2, 3, 4 types of contract. Say purchase of land. Then you cannot purchase land in India if it is a law. So there might be some restrictions to foreign embassy members, foreign ambassadors, etc. They are the people who are not capable of entering into contract. Insolvents. Convicts. Who are insolvents? The person who is declared by court of law as insolvent. Convicts, the person on whom some crime is proved by court of law. So he is having some, say I have done a murder and I am proved by court of law that okay, I am a murderer and I will be going to jail for 14 years. Then I am a convict, I cannot enter into contracts. So these are some of the persons who are specifically disqualified that, specifically disqualified that this type of persons will not be capable of entering into contract. See, there might be other law also, say income tax or GST, whereby the law might say that this person cannot enter into contract. This is other disqualified persons. What we are learning? Persons who are not capable of entering into contract, and if there are one party even who are not capable of entering into contract, even if one party is not capable of entering into contract, then agreement will become void. For becoming a valid contract, both parties should be capable of entering into contract. Who are capable and who are not capable? All are capable except minor, person of unsound mind, other disqualified person. So we are actually learning the persons who are not capable of entering into contract, and we are moving to minor. Capable or not capable? Not capable. Hence, agreement with minor will be void agreement. It cannot become valid because one person is not capable of entering into contract. We are going to rules regarding minor. Number one, agreement with minor is a void ab initio. We have learned this word in previous lectures. Number two, minor can always plead minority. Number three, no ratification after attaining majority. Number four, minor can be beneficiary. Number five, void no ratification can be beneficiary. Minor can always plead minority. Minor is liable for necessity. Number six, contract by guardian Number seven, no specific performance. Number eight, no insolvency. Number nine, we will be talking about partnership with minor. Number 10, minor can be agent. Number 11, minor cannot bind parents or guardians. So this many rules of minor we are going to understand. 11 rules of minor. Let us start one by one, but let us first preset everything. Minor are not capable of entering into contract, hence agreement with minor is void ab initio. So first point should be absolutely clear. Agreement with minor is void ab initio. Void ab initio means it is initially void. So today Krutika gave the answer. If from initial the agreement is void, it is void agreement and not void contract. So see the wordings. Agreement with minor is void. So it will become, if one of the person is minor, it will become void agreement. Let us go to number 2. Minor can always plead minority. Concentrate. Let me give you an example where a 17-year-old person, say Janvi. What is her age? 17 years. There is a say a person, Mr. X, who is 40 plus. Yes. Janvi borrows a loan of rupees 10 lakhs from Mr. X at an interest of 10% per annum. I hope you are very comfortable with borrowing of loan. Borrowing of loan. Janvi will be getting 10 lakhs rupees. Janvi will be repaying principal plus interest to Mr. X. Problem is this contract is not a valid contract. It is void agreement. Mr. X should not enter into this type of contract. But what Janvi did mischief? She took printout of her Aadhaar card, changed the date so that it looks like she is of 19 years. What is Janvi's actual age? 17 years. But falsely, she has made an Aadhaar card or a Xerox printout. Mr. X was very intelligent person. He asked for Aadhaar card Xerox or Aadhaar card. Janvi provided Aadhaar card Xerox whereby it was proved that she is of 19 years of age. What is her actual age? 17 years. Alright. Janvi will not return the money. She will even not pay the interest. The matter went into court of law. See what lawyer of Janvi argued. The agreement actually is with minor. Actual age of Janvi is 17 years. And agreement with minor is void. What Mr. X argued in court of law? He said that Janvi has given me this printout. According to this printout of Aadhaar card, the age is 19 years and so I gave the loan. Otherwise, I was knowing the law. Agreement with minor is void ab initio. So I have given the law. So Janvi has practically cheated me and taken a loan by being a minor. Janvi was called upon the court. And see what Janvi can say in court of law. This is a statement which only minor can say in court of law. See what Janvi is saying. Janvi is saying to judge, sir, I am a minor. I don't know anything. Is it valid? Yes. Will judge believe? Yes. Even if there is a sufficient evidence, judge can, if someone minor says that, sir, I cannot think. Law thinks that minor cannot think. See the first point. Agreement with minor is void. Why? Because they are not capable to understand what is good for them, what is bad for them. So practically they are not capable of logical thinking. How many percentage you are getting? But law says that you are not capable of thinking because majority of you might be having age less than 80. So this is what law says. So if you go into court of law and say that I don't know anything, it is always a valid argument. Try to concentrate. Minor can always plead. Minor can beg in court of law that, sir, I am minor, I don't know anything, and it will be a valid argument. Minor can always plead minority. It was second point. Let's go to third point. Third and last point for today. Other points we'll be doing later on. No ratification after attaining majority. Alright. See what does this mean? No ratification after attaining majority. Again, I am taking example of Janvi. I this time gave loan to Janvi of rupees 10 lakhs at the rate of 10% repayable after 1 year. What is the age of Janvi? 17.5 years. So 17 years and 6 months. I am 20 plus. I am actually not 20 plus, but let me write down 20 plus. Any age can be written on board. So, try to concentrate. What is my logic? I have given loan for a period of 1 year. She will have to pay me 10% interest, which is 1 lakh, 10 lakhs, 10% is 1 lakh. So she will be giving me 11 lakh rupees, principal plus interest, after how many years? 1 year. And after 1 year, age of Janvi will be 18.5 years. She will become major. And so this contract is valid. This is my understanding. Believe me, my understanding is not correct. Once the contract is entered, try to understand again. Both parties should be capable at the time of entering into contract. At the time of entering into contract. What was age of Janvi? 17.5 years. This agreement will become void agreement. So the question remains same. Sir, when Janvi attains 18 years, she complete 18 years, will it become valid? The answer is no. It will still remain void agreement. Once void, always void. Once the agreement is void, it can never become valid. But in this specific case, no ratification. Ratification is rectification. Rectification is correction. So the contract will be corrected or the agreement will be corrected on attaining majority. When Janvi attains 18 years of age, that is when Janvi attains majority, will this void agreement will become a valid contract? The answer is no. No ratification after attaining majority. What we are learning? Minor. They are not capable of entering into contract. We are learning some rules of minor and we have completed these 3 rules of minor.